All right, welcome to Richmond TV. We are here at Richmond High School. It's the end of the regular season for these two wrestling teams. Well, the regular dual season, that is. We've got Richmond versus Algonac here at Richmond. And we're starting today's duel with a couple JV matches. We've got 4 JV matches on our slate. For Richmond, this is Ben Dittman, freshman. He will start things off for us.
I'm Jason Robbins, your color commentator for this evening.
You got that leg up.
Almost down to the mat.
Dittman fighting it off hard. Nice whizzer. Squares up. Let's see what he tries to do.
Oh, almost out of bounds. Oh.
Still in play. And we'll talk about some of these. With this being the first broadcasted wrestling match of this year, there were a lot of significant changes to the national high school wrestling rules. So we'll talk through some of them. We'll see one right here. So you notice that was a 3-point takedown. A lot of changes to the scoring in terms of how many points certain moves are worth. Most significant is obviously that the takedown's now worth 3 points instead of 2.
But he didn't have him all the way to the ground, though.
Correct, but we've got his hands on the mat.
Mm-hmm.
And in that controlled position, that'll constitute a takedown. So
nice reversal there.
Now there's a reversal, still worth 2 points. And now Dittman digs both of those legs in, going to work on his opponent here.
Trying to get to the back of the neck, too. Control.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see, too, a lot of young kids in this Richmond lineup. It's a very young Richmond varsity team. A lot of freshmen contributing pretty significant amounts of time. There's some exciting freshmen, too. Some guys that'll do some cool things for us.
So Algonac will choose to start from the top, right?
Yep. Dittman working up into that tripod.
He's able to get back on his feet.
Ooh, hold on here.
And, ooh.
There it is. Yeah, I had a feeling something like that was going to happen when they got in that body lock position out of the whizzer.
So close to a pin, though.
Yep. So now you'll see 4-point near fall now. So 5 seconds of exposure on the back will get you a 4-point near fall. So we're going to see a lot more match points than we typically would in a match, any previous year. Looking for a tilt there.
Doesn't look like he's going to exactly get it.
Watch him try to chain this together. There it is. Go right off that tilt into that power half.
There he is. Oh.
He's got to get those hips, but Dittman's got to get those hips up. Yes. There's a little more exposure.
Oh, Algonac's able to roll back onto their belly. So that was a 3-point near fall?
Yep, so that's less than 5 seconds. You'll get a 3-point near fall for it. So now the score is 11-3 in favor of Ben Dittman.
10 seconds left in this round.
Looking for that power half again.
Nope.
End of the second, we've got an 11-3 match. Algonac will choose neutral to start the third. Checking with our... Oh, looks like we got a little bit of blood time. Our Algonac wrestler gets checked out by his coaches. Looks like Dittman was the bleeding party there. He'll go.
So yeah, so we don't have any blood on the mat. As
Correct.
soon as there's any blood that's shown, they have to get up and.
Yeah, it depends on where it's at where they are positionally in the match.
Just like
and it depends on how much blood there is. If there's a lot of blood and the guy's on his back, they'll stop it immediately. If it's a little bit of blood and they're in a position where somebody's looking to score or make a significant change, they may let it go a little bit longer and then stop it. So
okay.
Between periods, quick little cleanup as we pan across the Algonac bench.
Yeah, before when they were panning over the Richmond bench, I just want to make mention of one of my seniors, Aiden Bergeron, good student.
Yep, we'll see Squid a lot later in this in this duel.
All right, so now we're into the third. We're in the third period.
Third period. Snap down by Dittman. Oh, nice crossbody pick. He's going to look for a fall out of this. Got that locked up.
He's been trying all match.
Got it locked up. He's really got to drop that shoulder.
Oh.
Yep.
There it is.
Gets the fall.
With 1:02 left in the period. And that was a good match because, you know, the Algonac player was, you know, obviously got pinned. He still was able to move around a lot, able to get out of a lot of those pins where he could have had a pinfall much earlier in the match.
Yep, yeah. And that's what you look for, you know, as a coach out of these JV matches is you try to match your kids up, obviously weight-wise, but then you're also looking, you know, try to get someone, you're talking to the other coach beforehand, trying to match them up skill-wise so you can get the best look for your kid as possible.
Both teams coming out here aggressive tonight.
This is Cole Campbell for Richmond, another freshman. New to the sport, but a kid, you know, I've heard good things about, works really hard, and he's really trying to get better here. Got that head caught. Oh, you don't want to. Oh, hey.
Onto his back.
I was going to say, you don't want to hang out there very long, but, you know, sometimes things like this happen in JV matches.
He made it work for him.
Short little headlock. We'll see if he can get the fall. He closed that.
I think the way his elbow is, it's going to be hard to get his shoulder on the ground.
He's got to arch that head up. Arch that head up. Well, he's got plenty of time, 36 seconds. This is a tough spot to fight out of if you're the Algonac guy. You're really, you know, not one, it's not an easy move to get out of, but two, you're losing a lot of air there. We got a hold of the headgear there too. But there it is. There's the fall.
There it is.
Nice job, son. Cole Campbell with the win here. JV match number 2.
Now, with wrestling, is there a significant advantage to having height on your opponent?
It all depends.
Some of it is on the ground. So.
Yeah, it really depends. You know, wrestling, there's obviously 14 different weight classes, but within that, you're going to have guys of all sorts of different builds, different, you know, you could have a short, stocky, real strong guy. You could have long and lanky. And I've seen a lot of guys have success with those different body types. You got to really learn, you know, what moves work for your body type and just have confidence in what you're doing.
Both wrestlers seem to be trying to go for the legs. I think it's kind of time to change up the strategy a little bit.
This is Alex Rice. Ooh, yeah,
down.
You don't want to get caught there.
Near fall.
So now he's the one in the headlock.
Good job of keeping
and again,
that shoulder up.
What he's going to want to do is take that left hand up.
No, that was the fall, wasn't it? Yep.
You want to try to get that left hand and punch it towards the guy's butt and really, really square your shoulders back to the mat there.
Now that, if you can spread your legs out a little bit, you can get a little bit more leverage.
Nice and wide. And this will be Ben Jones for Richmond, another freshman. Ben's one of those guys, Jason, we were just talking about, a little bit longer, lankier. And that's the, you know, as a good wrestling coaches will teach their kids based on their body type and their style. There's guys you can show certain moves to because they're long and lanky that may not work on a guy that's short and stocky.
Right.
Ooh.
There we go. Down to the mat.
Full body lock. Into a power half, but hips are way out of position there. Reset.
Trying to stay in control there.
Yeah.
Able to.
Looks like he's looking for a cradle. Oh, nice little Easton tilt. You really got to, in that Easton tilt there where you roll through, you really got to have your hips in good position or you're going to see, like we saw there, you're not going to get enough time exposed with those shoulders.
Now it's kind of like, what do you do in this situation? How do you get him on his back?
Yeah, well, taking a wing there. Yeah, wing and a wrist.
And that's the end of the period.
So 5-0 Jones, nothing Jones here. He did get 2 points for exposure. And we've got some more blood. So you can't tell from our camera view here because our camera crew is actually positioned on the spectator side of the bleachers, but we do have a pretty full house here at Richmond. You know, big time wrestling rivalry, Richmond and Algonac. These two teams go back quite a ways. Two of the more premier wrestling programs in the Blue Water Conference.
It's good for Algonac with all their other struggles.
Mm-hmm.
Just small schools, so.
Yep. Jones will choose bottom for the second.
I feel like that's a dangerous position for a wrestler. If you're able to come back at all.
It can be, yes. Yeah, he's really got to do a good job here. Yep. Trying to shake him off to the side, but you don't want to. What you don't want to end up in is that power half.
Right.
Anytime somebody's riding the legs, your number one goal is stopping that power half. And then you look to get his hips out of position. So his opponent, our Algonac wrestler here, is a little high. Yep, off to the side. Jones has got to do a good job of continuing to get him into worse position.
And he did
there
it right
is.
there.
Yep.
Reverse.
Got him to fall off to the side, and you know when you lose that, not only does your positioning start to fail, but you lose any sort of leverage trying to turn.
Auditorium got really quiet for a second. 10 seconds left in the first period.
Second. I don't think our I think our scoreboard.
Whoopsies.
I was going to say we're not going to add another period. I don't think they'd appreciate adding another period here either.
No, I can imagine by the time you're done with even one period, you're exhausted.
Yep.
How do you guys train for that, for the endurance like this?
Yeah, it's crazy too. Well, this is a JV match, so it's 2 minutes, minute and a half. So it's really only 5 minutes. Regular wrestling match, 6 minutes, which doesn't seem like a lot of time. Nice shot there by our Algonac wrestler.
When you're in it, though, I can only imagine.
It's a lot. It's, you know, you got to have really good muscular endurance as well as cardiovascular. So you train all sorts of different ways. I think we got some near fall coming.
Ooh, that was close.
So that boots back in. See, what you don't want to do right there is reach across on that leg, because you really just pull the guy in tighter. You got to fight same side hand, same side leg.
Ooh.
Potentially dangerous. So,
yeah, the way he was lifting that leg.
Yep. So the referee will stop it and let the guys reset before we have anything happen that gives us.
These first couple of matches, something I'm noticing is that they're not going out of bounds nearly as much.
No, and that really is just a style thing. There's some guys where they move around quite a bit and they're out of bounds all the time. There's other guys where they can go an entire period without a single stoppage. So see how Jones is over top of that leg? You got to get underneath from the inside, because that's really not doing much for us.
Right.
And it's 7-7. We've got ourselves overtime.
Ooh.
Overtime in a JV match. Here we go.
Overtime just goes for an extra minute.
It's 1 minute. If whoever scores first wins. Sudden death.
Ooh. Still better rules than NFL.
Yeah, it's a little less complicated. Just a reminder, after the conclusion of this match, we'll have our varsity teams will take the mat.
Oh, and
he's in deep. Jones is in danger. Rolls him across. Nothing yet.
Uh-oh.
Nothing yet. Oh, my gosh.
So no one got a near fall.
Nothing.
Right?
Nope. No control. So now the object here is both of them have a leg. You got to try to elevate that and follow through. Jones gets the takedown. 10-7 in overtime.
9 seconds left.
That wraps up the JV portion of today's program. Wow, that's fun. And again, that's what you're looking for out of these JV matches. You're trying to find your guys a good, even match that you can see what they can do and what they need to improve on. So those are 4 solid looks for both teams. Looks like we're getting our announcements ready to go for the varsity match.
The voice sounds so familiar.
Let us now honor and respect our efforts and our country. Civilian gentlemen, please remove your hats. Active and retired military, we encourage you to render the appropriate salute. And everyone able, please stand at attention, placing your hand over your heart as we proudly sing our national anthem. Thank you, and best of luck to both teams today. Remember, nothing beats good sportsmanship. Starting weight for today's duel will be 106.
All right, well now we've got our captains of both teams meeting at the center of the mat with tonight's officials. We'll be working a 2-man officiating crew, so we'll talk more about that. But what they'll do here is they'll flip green, so Richmond will have choice. a lot of people don't understand, one of the things that goes into wrestling is that right there, the flip. What that means is they get to choose odd or even matches. So, for example, if Richmond chose even, they would they would put their wrestler out first in all of the even-numbered matches. Algonac would then send, and they'd send first in the odd-numbered matches. So what that allows is you as a coach to see who they're sending and make some of them you can make changes based on that. It can really affect a duel. It can swing couple matches like that can swing a duel a lot of points.
So how many matches do we have tonight?
We have 14 slated.
Okay.
So this first one at 106, this is TJ Landrum. He's wrestling Pauline Chapman of Richmond. Pauline was an all-state wrestler in the girls tournament last year, which is exciting to see. Girls wrestling is growing extremely fast here in Michigan and across the nation.
Typically, they compete with the boys too, right?
Yep. So they'll compete with the boys during the regular season, and then when the district tournament rolls around, they'll have to make a decision whether to wrestle in the traditional district or to wrestle in the girls regional the following week. So they compete in one of the state tournaments.
They can't compete in both, though.
Correct. So Landrum with that with that takedown, he's got a cradle locked up here, but not in great position. Chapman underneath has got that leg. Let's see if she can bump him to a hip and come out the backside.
Oh.
A high crotch position. Landrum doing a good job stuffing that off. And a stalemate is called. So we'll reset in the middle. I think that was a locked hands call, that first point that was awarded to Chapman. And I didn't see where it was at, but what I imagine is Landrum was probably locked around her waist when she was around the leg. Then he elected to let her up, so now we've got a 2-3 match with 38 seconds left.
No, because he let her up, that counts as a reversal, right?
Escape.
But okay.
Yes, yep. Landrum with another takedown. He's got those legs split looking for a Turk. "15 seconds here. Chapman's got to be careful because he can take this either way. He's got that wrist on one side deep and he's got a half on the other. Can't really give up either hip. You got to stay wide and stay square.
Definitely looks like a stalemate down there.
Landrum chooses bottom to start the second. Chapman doing a great job following those changeovers, staying behind the arms. You get over top of that and they'll roll you.
Right.
We attack the leg. Look to really chase it here. Landrum doing a good job with that whizzer. Oh, takes it right over to a bundle. Right. This is dangerous, and there it is. There's the fall. Algonac will strike first.
So pinfall is still 6 points
Correct.
For the team?
Yep. So a fall for Algonac gives them a 6-0 advantage after the first match. Next out is Jack Reyes for Algonac. He will win by forfeit.
Now that happens because Richmond doesn't have someone in his weight class, right?
Correct, yep. So now it's 12-0 Algonac. And that's a look at Alan Fletcher, freshman from Richmond. He'll be checking in at 120. His opponent from Algonac will be Vincent Finn.
One thing about these the lower weight classes, I just can't believe how fast they are.
It's very, very. So Finn with a takedown there. Yeah, well, and actually starting at 106, we'll see kind of a gradual change of that pace of the matches.
Ooh, I didn't think the arm could bend that way. I'm sure you find that out a lot.
A lot of body parts bend different ways.
Trying to cradle him right, and then trying to get him on his back.
Yep. He's got to be careful here.
And, oh, that was...
Fletcher's really got to break that lock, though. He's in good position, but Finn's still got that locked up, and this could be dangerous. Fletcher needs to stretch that leg and break that lock first.
Less than a minute in this period.
Getting the head out would help, too. Stalemate. That stalemate's probably better in that position for Finn than Fletcher. It looked like he was trying to make some progress there, but not enough movement. We'll reset. Fletcher up to a tripod. And Finn working a power half. Saw a lot of this in our JV matches. I have a feeling we'll see it a lot in later matches too. With
Seems
these
like
two
it's
teams.
Seems like it's working.
Well, it's kind of a team tendency for these two.
And that's it for that would be the second period, wouldn't it?
First.
The first. Okay.
Yep.
That other time just threw me off on where we are in the periods. Like, can I trust the clock?
I know. Well, and two, with only hosting one actual duel during the year in which the scoreboard gets used, because typically in a quad you wouldn't use these scoreboards because you don't want to use the buzzer, so you use the laptops with the screens. So having the buzzer's nice because it gives the referee a definitive sound of when time ends. Finn got that broomstick cradle. I don't know how his leg ended up in there, but that's tight.
Very carefully is my estimation.
Typically,
doing a good job of staying on that one
Typically,
shoulder.
you see that out of the neutral position. Fletcher's doing a good job keeping those hips wide, getting that elbow out, keeping Finn from rolling him back. You don't want to give that elbow up.
Way to keep his head up. That's one way to do it.
And this is the interesting part of the new scoring system with the more points for near fall. We're already at a 14-0 match in the middle of the second period. I mean, that's a lot of points for 3.5 minutes.
Right.
But that was the intent when the Federation went to these rules, and it emulates the college rule set as well.
Which, I mean, it's where you want to be anyways.
Correct.
Because, I mean, that's the goal for a lot of these wrestlers is to end up in college. So you better be training them to be in college.
Right. And just, talking to some different coaches around the state and around the area, it's been a learning curve for all including some of the officials. There were a lot of times early in the season, takedowns would get scored and the official would put up a 2 and then no, 3. Right. So start of the third, Fletcher chose neutral. Stuffs off that shot by Finn. He's got to get that arm. There we go. Head in the hole. Keeps circling it. Circling. Pop that head. There it is. Takedown Fletcher. 14-3.
Got some points on the board. See if he can get him on his back and win the whole thing.
That's the thing with wrestling. We got a 14-3 score, but, you know, one turn could be the difference. Neither guy can really give up here. And I think that's what Fletcher's got in his head. He's like, I'm down 11, but a pin would wipe all of that out. Working for that, looking for that power half.
The other guy at this point is probably just wanting to ride it out for the most part, making sure he does. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, what you don't want is to go to your back here.
Nope.
And, And it looks like Finn's going to be able to get his Fletcher's hips. Yep, got his hips out of position. Able to slide right out the side. So now 16-3 in favor of Vincent Finn of Algonac. Another cradle right here on the boundary.
20 seconds. Oh.
And they're out of bounds.
Clocked up at 21.2 seconds.
One of the other rule changes, and it really almost came into play there, is they adopted the college out of bounds rule set, which means if any part of either wrestler is still in bounds, wrestling will continue.
Okay.
Now over there, the action stopped because on the edges of those sides of the mat, Fletcher's got to stay strong here. He could swim a half. And I think he's going to run out of time.
Yeah.
Out of time. So that'll be a 16-3 major decision for Vincent Finn of Algonac. That'll give the Muskrats 4 more points. But like I was saying, with those out of bounds, we'll see it today, is they'll blow the whistle when both wrestlers are completely out of bounds, unless it gets to a point where they're still in bounds, but the parts of them that are out of bounds are near those where they would go off the mat.
Right.
Then it becomes a safety concern. So that was one of the big changes. I personally like it because it's a little more cut and dry. Okay, this is out of bounds. This isn't. Instead of the old, there's a cylinder and it's got to be their knee inside, and there was so much gray area before.
Right. Anytime I've watched games in the past, it seemed like when 3 out of 4 feet were out of bounds for the most part, that's when they finally called it.
Yeah.
And to reset.
This is 120, weight class 126. This is Cooper Honold of Richmond and Harlan Christie of Algonac. Cooper's a senior for Richmond, 4-year wrestler. One of those guys that, you know, has been around forever through the youth club, through middle school.
Richmond's always had a very robust wrestling system. This one being a little bit more tactical.
Yep. Nice low single. Hook that ankle. We've got to work that left arm out around the waist. Got to be careful. Now he's in a Peterson roll position. He's got to get control.
Almost got on his feet.
Get control of that arm. Peel that half off. Get control of that arm. Sit through. Sit. Not in a cradle, but wow. Nice scramble. Into a fireman's tip. There it is.
Both wrestlers. Wow. That was just a
Yep.
That was a really exciting show there.
Nice little scramble there. Honold able to come out on top with that short little fireman's tip. Gives him a 3-0 advantage.
5 seconds left.
That'll be the end of the first.
Richmond up by 3.
Honold defers. Christie elects to go neutral.
this here is a really good matchup. These two wrestlers seem like they have a lot of the same strategies when it comes to trying to do their thing.
And, you know, Honnold being one of those longer, lankier wrestlers, able to keep some distance. So it's going to be really hard for Christie to close the gap.
Oh.
Snap down. Short sucker drag there by Honnold. Back to his feet, and we'll reset. Another low single. Nice shot right there on the boundary. We'll see if those new out-of-bounds rules come into play. Still in. Still in. Still in. Still in. He's got to be careful there because that's the part of the mat where there's not a lot out of bounds.
Right.
And a takedown for Honnold.
Nice.
Nice work there on the boundary.
Well earned.
6-0 advantage for Cooper Honnold. 25 seconds left here in the second period. Let's stay tight here. You don't want to let him slide out the side.
At the same time, I still can't tell who has who right now.
And that'll end the second period. So a pair of takedowns is the difference in this duel. Cooper Honnold will choose bottom, try to add on to that lead.
So wouldn't this be putting a wrestler at disadvantage?
Positionally, yes. Strategically, not necessarily. Some of it depends on, what do we got here? We got an unnecessary roughness call for winding up on that crossface. Typically, a lot of wrestlers will choose bottom because you have the ability to earn that escape point.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, with these new scoring rules, it's going to be interesting to see what the metrics come out and look like in terms of choosing bottom versus choosing top with those increased near falls. I know Christie's got that in the back of his head right now. You know, really 2 turns and he could be leading this duel, 8-7, if he gets 2 4-point near falls. So you really can't rest on the bottom saying I've got an advantage because I've still got an escape I can earn, and obviously you still have to earn that escape. But
exactly, and not only that, if with the other near fall points being increased, that 1 point doesn't matter as much throughout the match.
Correct. And they really emphasize takedowns and near falls. So we'll get a stoppage, so Christie can reset his headgear. It looks like it's broken. Showing something to the ref.
So we'll take a quick break.
That's where you find somebody with a similar size head and you just throw it on and make it work. And it looks like that's what he's going to do.
Yep. This would be a great moment to mention to everyone that if you go to youtube.com and search Richmond TV, you can find all of our videos there. And you can also view us on Richmond TV Channel 6 within the Richmond area on Comcast Channel 6, Xfinity Channel 6. Also on 902.
Ooh, Christie got a bundle locked up there. Digging it. Honnold's got to keep those knees wide. Keep those knees wide. If you don't turn your hips here, your shoulders have a great chance of not turning.
Looks like he's more focused on trying to get up to his feet and away.
Now it looks like he transitioned it to a 3/4 half. And Honnold fights it off. Nice work. Needs to get out here. If Honnold's able to escape, he can earn a major, and that'll be a difference between 3 and 4 points. Christie with, yep.
That's
running that chicken wing. Honnold's shoulder got a little too high, so we'll reset.
Can't believe how stretchy these guys are. That arm looked like it was all the way on the other side.
Reset. 10 seconds here. Honnold's got to try to get out, get that bonus point. Swim it. I don't think that's going to do it. Nope.
There it is.
So final score here at 126. Cooper Honnold 7, Harlan Christie 0.
Put some points on the board for the Blue Devils team.
Yep. So that'll bring us to 3-16 for our team score. Heading into 132. So at 132, this will be Chris Campbell of Algonac and Mateus Shoddy of Richmond. Mateus is a junior for the Blue Devils. Fight those hands off. Campbell controls that wrist to an ankle pick. Really keeping the pressure on there is Chris Campbell. Oh, uh-oh.
That doesn't look too good.
I had a near side cradle there for a second. Takedown for Campbell makes it 3-0 in the match score.
With the new out-of-bounds rules, it doesn't make sense for a wrestler to try and get out of bounds to get out of a bad situation. Oh, there we go.
I'll answer that here in a second. So,
Yep.
Christie with a nice little blanket ride stack. He'll end the match at 40. Oh, they changed it on me quick. 42 seconds. He'll get the fall for Algonac, so that makes the score 22-3. To answer your question with the new out-of-bounds rules, a lot of it depends on the situation, and as a wrestler, if you're gonna try to get out of bounds to avoid a fall or avoid a takedown, you really have to show the referee that you're working to try to get out of that position and not necessarily out of bounds.
Okay.
If you just try to scoot right out of bounds, they'll ding you for stalling or they'll ding you for fleeing the mat, and you'll give up points regardless.
Okay.
So this is Colin Lum of Richmond. He is a freshman against Lucky Garton of Algonac. Lucky's one of the heavy hitters for Algonac's team. He's county champ at the Macomb County tournament. So if you're Colin Lum here, you're looking to try to minimize bonus points. Fighting hands. Got to work that chin hand, try to get out of there. Ooh. Little inside trip.
They're going to reset.
Reset in the middle.
Not an official reset. Kind of
Correct.
like, let's just go back to the center.
and both, in deep there. Lum fought it off for a second.
Good way to keep his arm stretched out there. Mm-hmm. Right?
Campbell's got that deep, tight waist. That makes him feel about 15 pounds heavier on your back. Lum's got to get that over his head. Get that arm on the other side of his head and circle to it.
Back to their feet.
Yep. Oh, it's a chin rip. Lum tried to barn roll through it, and this is deep. That's deep.
Yep, there's the fall.
Chin rip, double grapevines. That's tough to get out of. And Lucky Garton will score another fall for the Muskrats. Puts the score at 28-3, heading into 144. I think our scoreboard's a couple matches behind. There we go. Now we're at 144. At 144, this is Will Peters against Nate Clemens of Algonac. Will is a sophomore for Richmond. The youngest of 3 Peters brothers. His older brother Wesley was 4-time All-State. His brother Wyatt graduated last year. And now there's Will.
All the St. John's are done, right?
Correct, yep. In on that leg, in deep. Got to look to club here. Clemens doing a good job of tying Peters' hands up, staying at a distance. There we go.
The way he kept that leg all the way down.
Good, solid, controlled finish there. Now he's in the middle of the mat. Plenty of room to work. He's got a wing and a wrist. Got to be careful here. You really, when you run it, yep.
Right on his back like that.
Follow. When you're running that wing, you got to make sure his hips stay flat to the mat. You don't want him up on his knees, but whoa, we're rolling around.
At least he was able to get back into a more favorable position, because that looked rough a second ago. He's lucky the Algonac didn't have control.
Let's see if he decides to go back to that wing.
I just heard them say,
coaches are trying to get him back.
Gotta wing it.
20 seconds left here.
Match is still 3-0 Richmond.
So a stalling call there against Peters. So you'll see that when guys are on top, and he's got the referee determined that Peters kept his hips on top of his opponent's hips for too long. You got to get out to the side. You got to be working to turn him.
You got to be doing something. You can't just hold.
Correct. Klebit's trying to get out there. Peters does a great job reattacking. Oh. Gives up a reversal there right at the buzzer.
Still in the lead, though, by 1.
Now, see, this is where those new points come into play, because in the old system, it would be 2-2 right now, because Peters got a takedown, gave up a reversal. Now, Will Peters still has a 3-2 advantage. So it changes some of the strategy with the duel. Clemens will choose bottom.
This would be one of those times where he hopes he could get a reversal.
Peters digging that wing again.
Do you think he likes traditional or boneless?
Nice crossface. Got to try to collapse that arm. Clemens doing a good job controlling the wrist. As a top wrestler, that's frustrating because your hand's tied up and now you're out of position. You can't use it.
Almost to an escape.
Lift.
Oh, back to the mat.
Now, Will Peters has got to be smart here. He's already been called for stalling on top. He's got to continue to work for a fall.
Get to that movement.
Reattack the leg.
Less than a minute left in the second period.
Got to look to finish here.
Still 3-2.
Tough spot because that leg's bent. You lose a lot of pressure. And he's able to dump him back down. We'll reset on the mat.
Trying to get control of his hands so he can flip him over.
He's got that wrist, rolls it under.
He's almost got that transition down.
Yep. There.
Oh, there's the stalling again. Right?
Yep.
Second stalling call.
And I had a feeling it was coming.
So first one's a warning and another one's
Correct.
A point for the other team.
Yep. So now we've got a 3-3 match here with 14 seconds left. So that's the second caution there on Clemens on the bottom. Third one will be a point for Will Peters. 13 seconds here. You got to be smart. You don't want to give up anything, especially in a tie match. Peters will chop that wrist.
5 seconds left.
All right, so we'll head to the third period tied here at 144. Peters will have choice, and he'll go neutral.
Neither wrestler really able to get an advantage over the other. I mean, Peters has spent a lot of time on top, but not able to get anything done.
Yeah,
As with the two stalling calls.
no real near fall position there. Nice shot by Clemens. He brings that leg up. Peters got to get that head out of there. Got to get that head up. Looking for a broomstick. Doesn't quite get it. Nice job. Way to battle that back up to your feet. High crotch. Fought off by Clemens. Reshot by Peters. Took it to a fireman's. And he's able to get that takedown.
Nice.
So that gives him a 6-3 advantage here. Still a lot of wrestling left. We got 1:15 left in the third. Tight waist by Peters. Working that wrist. He's got to be careful here. He's been dinged for stalling twice.
Less than a minute to go in this last
Hammerlock, stretching it. He's got to make a read here. You want to read that elbow, read those hips. Those hips got to stay flat. Needs to come out front.
Using every technique he can to try and flip him.
Lost that hammerlock. Be careful here.
Oh.
Following the changeover.
Nice.
Whoop. It's got a leg in. You got to roll this through. You got to get your hips high here, or you're going to get caught in a really bad position. 10 seconds left. Stalemate. Whew.
That was close for both teams.
7 seconds here. Up 3. Will Peters is going to go optional start. Try to eat up some of this clock. 5, 3, and time. Clemens will end that with an escape. Final score will be 6-4 in favor of Will Peters. He'll give the Blue Devils another 3 points. That puts our team score at 28-6 in favor of the Muskrats.
Next up is weight class 150.
Yep, this will be Alex Bright for Algonac, and for Richmond, it'll be Jacob Fink. Fink's a senior for Richmond.
I wonder if he's related to my other student, one of my other students. Probably. It's a small town. Just measuring each other up at the moment.
A lot of movement here. Really both guys really just trying to open the other up.
Neither of them having very much success at that.
No, they're both guys. You don't want to take a bad shot here, get caught out of position, because both of them are a guy that'll make you pay. Shot there by Fink. Fought off by Bright, but he's able to get back to his feet. Got to fight those hands, and not out of the woods yet. Now he is. Out of bounds, and we'll reset in the center.
Neither wrestler is giving an inch on each other.
No.
even getting in that headlock.
When I saw the names come across the board, I knew we'd be in for one right here.
Are they going to spend any time on the mat at all? I think this is the first wrestling match that I've seen like this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been covering Richmond sports for a long time.
Fink's got to do a good job here, and he has thus far, circling back into the circle. You don't want to get caught on the edge too many times during a match like this.
Now, in this position, which wrestler has the advantage?
Neither.
Neither?
Yep. They're
Even
both,
with one being under the other?
Yeah, they're both really looking for something different. Bright looking for a snap down there. Fink looking to shoot underneath it, but he's got to clear hands to get there. So Fink will choose bottom to start the second.
Almost got
Bright
it.
does a good job of reattacking that leg.
And
Fink
got the
kicks
escape.
out. We've got a point on the board, and we're back to our feet. Underhook by Fink. But he's got his head on the wrong side. You got to get that head back over. Bright keeping good head position, blocking that off. Ooh, there's our first deep shot we've seen by Bright.
Still couldn't take him to the mat, though.
Fink fights it off. Out of bounds, and we'll reset.
I mean, neither wrestler is giving them anything to work with.
No, you're looking to watch his feet. Both guys are watching the other one's feet, seeing how he reacts, seeing if there's something you can find where, maybe if I step this way, he steps and he's a little heavier on that foot. You try to get yourself an extra half a second advantage for when you do decide to shoot. So you're watching feet, you're watching hands, you're getting a feel for how he moves.
Match score is still 1-0 in favor of Richmond.
Mm-hmm. Snap down by Bright, trying to get behind. Fink circles away out of it. And we're at the end of the second period. I imagine Bright will choose bottom. Nothing yet, but it looks like he's bleeding. Yep, so they'll clean.
He was checking it earlier, I could see on the mat.
Yep. So they'll clean that up. Fink will have a word with his coach. All right, looks like they got him cleaned up. I didn't see if they put a nose plug in or not, but
Oh, it looked like he had a shiner from before. Or that's just our camera.
I think he came in with that.
Yeah,
So
no.
start of the third. We got a 1-0 advantage for Fink. Bright is out, and guess what, Jason? We are back on our feet.
And we're tied because
Yep.
got the escape.
Tie
You got the
match.
escape.
So a little flurry there by Bright.
So even though we keep on running out of bounds, how come they're not getting anything for stalling or running?
So it's got to be blatant, and it's got to be pretty one-sided. Usually you can balance it out. I push you out, you push me out, or I'm going out of bounds, but I'm fighting off a shot and I'm making an effort to stop the shot. So like right here, yep. See, there it is. So Fink did get called for that one because he really didn't make an effort to circle back in.
And the first one is always a warning, and the
Yep,
second
first
one.
one's a warning. So now that could factor into this duel, especially a duel that's 1-1 right now, where a stalling point like that could be the difference. So now Jacob Fink's really got to. Oh, there's a nice shot, and we're out of bounds. But you really, really got to be the aggressor here now. You can't put it into the gray area where it gives the official the chance to call that stall.
He's being way more aggressive now.
Yep. And that's the intent of stalling warnings, is like, hey, man, you got to start being a little more aggressive here. Fink in deep here. Oh, he's got that ankle. He's got to get that hand up to the top knee. You got to create some space for that head. He's got to keep moving here. Got to keep moving. Bright doing a good job keeping tight, keeping that head trapped. Fink's got to try to pop that head.
That doesn't look good.
Still all right. We can come up through the middle. And a stalemate. That's what you don't want. Such a deep, our first deep shot of the match. And it looks like we got more blood stoppage. One real deep shot there and couldn't finish. Bright did a good job of keeping that all tight, working to get his leg back.
Are there ways to avoid the mat burns?
Not really.
I didn't think so.
No. You'll see some guys will wear knee pads to eliminate some of the mat burn on your knees. But
your knee pads are build calluses.
Coach Berg there throwing a little tape on it. Nothing a good roll of athletic tape usually can fix.
Right.
Or nothing athletic tape can't fix.
Right.
So we've got 22 seconds left here. A 1-1 match. I think both wrestlers have a caution. We'll see if that factors into this. Jacob Fink's been warned for stalling.
Less than 5 seconds left in the match. Looks like it's going to go overtime.
Flurry by Bright. So we're into overtime. We saw this during one of our JV matches. So first overtime will be 1 minute. First wrestler to score wins. It's sudden death style. And for us, it gives us more wrestling on our feet.
Right. As I suddenly stand up. My watch was telling me to.
Out of bounds again.
Common occurrence in this match. .30 seconds left.
Right in on that leg. Fink fighting it off with a whizzer. 20 seconds left and we'll reset. Fink's got that head trapped.
So will they go into double overtime?
Yep.
Or? Okay.
Yep, so we'll
just keep on going until someone gets a point.
So we'll talk through each of the, if we do get to that.
Which we will.
All right, so here we go. So this is double overtime. They flip. Fink chooses bottom. And we got, something going on with Alex Bright. Is he going to, he looks like he's a little nauseous. Over by that garbage can, he's back. So
good job to our cameraman for not showing that.
Double overtime. They flip. It'll be 30 seconds. Fink chose bottom. They'll wrestle all 30 seconds here. It's not sudden death. So what they'll do is they'll just keep score after it, and then we'll go to triple overtime and do the same thing with Alex Bright having choice.
Okay.
So they have to wrestle the entire 30 seconds here, regardless of, there it is. So Fink will score, and they continue to wrestle.
Okay, so that still gives Algonac a chance.
Yep. So now the score is 2-1 in favor of Jacob Fink. So now they're still wrestling, still fighting for position. And now we'll go into that triple overtime. Whew. All right, so Alex Bright will choose bottom. And again, got to wrestle the whole 30 seconds. So if there's a difference in score after this period, then that wrestler will win. Mm-hmm. If we're still tied, we'll go to sudden death. Jacob Fink doing a great job here, keeping Bright on his hip, keeping him broken down. 12 seconds left here. Tight waist by Fink.
Almost 5 seconds left.
5, 3. A little flurry by Bright. And an escape at the buzzer.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Whoa.
Escape at the buzzer ties it.
The last second. I mean, literally half
Wow.
second. He got
So now,
got that escape.
Ultimate overtime. This will be it here. Jacob Fink scored first in the match, so he gets choice. He'll choose to go bottom. We're going to wrestle 30 seconds. If Fink gets out, he wins right away, sudden death. If he does not get out in the 30 seconds, Bright will be the winner. So Bright staying heavy on that arm. Fink in the tripod to his feet. He's cutting through. Boo! Oh!
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds. And again, that's where the short side of the mat comes in, because you've only got about 4 feet to the wood.
Right.
So we'll reset. Fink's got a clean restart here. 12 seconds left. He's got to get out. Up to that tripod. Tries to roll through. Bright stays on the ankle. 4, 3, and it looks like that'll be the match. Wow.
Whoa.
Alex Bright with a 3-2 ultimate overtime victory over Jacob Fink. Wow. So, Jason, we were talking earlier about the length of the match and having to be in shape. I mean, we talk about 6-minute matches being a lot for guys. This was 6 minutes plus a minute plus 2 30 seconds plus another 30. So we've got 6, 7, 8, 8.5 minutes that match was,
Jeez.
not counting the stoppages and the blood time. So, you know, hats off to both wrestlers. That was
right.
An extremely even match, a very competitive match. You know,
It was an exciting match.
it was exciting, and that's
Not to say the other matches weren't exciting, but there was a little bit different energy with that one.
right. And that's, you know, you've got two state level wrestlers there, really competing hard, and that's what you get in duels like this, is matches that are really, really close. And in some of your biggest duels, those duels come down to matches like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is 157. This is Aiden Bergeron against Vance Tilley of Algonac. Aiden, or Squid as he's affectionately called, is another senior for Richmond. One of those guys that's been around since he was really, really little. His older brother Hunter was part of the 2017 state championship team.
Not to mention, he's one of my students in my TV and broadcast media class.
Well, maybe he can help you edit this. He can help make my voice sound better. There's a nice fireman's tip there by Squid.
Maybe in a month when we get our laptops.
So 3-0 Bergeron here with 1:20 remaining in the first.
Got the chicken wing going, right? Mm-hmm. I'm learning the terminology.
Well, sorry. No, that was an
I
arm
was
bar.
wrong.
Now he's got the wing there, Jason.
Okay.
You were a little ahead of yourself. One of the other rule changes they made a couple of years ago is they eliminated the hair length rule. So you'll see guys like Aiden and Lucky Garton got the surfer hair going on. Aiden here, though, with that wings, got Tilly on his back.
He pins.
And we'll get the fall. 47 seconds remaining in the first. That'll be 6 points for Richmond. Bring them to 12 for the duel. And we're up to 165. Checking in for Richmond is Zach Pickering, another senior. And for Algonac, it'll be Julian Walker.
There, raring to go. It's like going from that really long match to that really short one.
That'll help you editing-wise. It'll bring you back to about a normal length duel. No. So
hey, I like 2 hour blocks, so an hour
True.
and a half, that's fine for me. Not that I know how long this is going to end up being.
Walker with the go behind there, able to bring Pickering back down to the mat and open the scoring with 3-0. Jason, what do we got going on here on top?
Cradle.
No.
Dang it.
Go back to your previous guess.
I really need to keep notes.
So that's a chicken wing.
That's chicken wing. Okay. All right.
I'll get you a cheat sheet for next year.
Hey, that will work.
Good job, Pickering, fighting that off.
No,
Walker gets his 4 points.
So now 7-0. You know, over the past year, we've really been trying to do more with our graphics, which has made me learn more about about the sporting events.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm a tech guy. I'm kind of nerdy.
Well, and it's interesting too. Like the more, and that's why programs like this are great. Getting this out on Richmond TV is, you know, a lot of people. They'll come to a wrestling match because they, you know, it's wrestling, it's Richmond, it's Algonac, it's Friday night. Like, yeah, let's go. But they may not understand the scoring or, you know, some of the finer points that are going on. So that's kind of what I hope to bring to some of these broadcasts is, you know, somebody watches this and goes, oh, okay, that's what's going on there. Or that's why they got these points or those points. Because we're educators at heart, right, Jason?
Exactly. I mean, I'm a teacher. You're an athletic director. 7-0 coming out of the first period. So we'll start with the 2-minute.
And it's still blowing me away about these points, man. It's going to take a little bit to get used to. It's like any other change. It'll take a little bit.
Hey, I mean, you've been part of the wrestling program since you were a little kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
And suddenly change it on you. What are they doing?
Yeah. So 7-0 Walker, but Pickering in deep here. He's really got to try to either come around the outside. He got caught in that crossface. Walker with a nice bundle on the boundary. Pickering can't rest here.
So that was a 4-point near fall, wasn't it?
Yep. And even if the shoulders are out of bounds, as long as something on either wrestler's in bounds, you could get the fall out of bounds. Or in that case, earn near fall out of bounds. Another turn.
Near fall.
Another turn by Walker. And that'll be our match. 17-0. Julian Walker of Algonac earns the tech fall, so that'll be 5 points for the Muskrats. Brings our score to Algonac 36, Richmond 12.
So now we have the 175 class up.
So for Richmond, this will be Ben Jones, freshman. And his opponent will be Joseph Fedig of Algonac. Ankle pick by Jones. Secures the takedown.
Gives him 3 points. Not able to wrest him all the way down to the mat.
Let's see here. Oh, you don't want to be in that position as a leg rider. You don't want that arm caught deep because it's going to expose your shoulder.
Exactly. If he had just a little bit, Algonac had a little bit more leverage, really put him on his back, and all of a sudden, we're in trouble.
He's got to stretch that out. Working power half again. Let's see if he's able to slide that. Needs a little bit more on that to get his near fall. Not quite enough turn on it for near fall. He's got to be careful here. He's got those. You don't want those feet out on Tilly's hip like that.
Yeah, your goal is to get it in
between.
In between.
Yep. We got arms and legs all over the place here. And we're set. All right, now let's reset. Reset. 2 legs in. Jones can go.
He's got to make some effort to get him on his back, otherwise he's going to get a stall.
Look at you learning, Jason.
I know, right?
And that's as a leg rider, that's extremely frustrating because, you know, with both of those legs around, we just talked about getting the feet to the middle. You know, it can look a lot like you're covering the guy's hips and not doing anything. So you really, really have to emphasize, I'm running a power half, I'm running a tilt, I'm running a Turk, some sort of turn, because it does look like you're covering the hips. So we've got neutral here. I missed who had choice, but we've got neutral here to start the second. Jones is up 3-0 with that first period takedown. Another ankle pick. Nice work, young man. Got to get that leg out of there, though, to secure the takedown. And there it is. That should be... Maybe not. Oh, yep, they did award it. Tilly back to his feet now, so we've got a 6-1 match.
Both wrestlers are looking exhausted after that one.
So there's an example there, Jason, of a stalling, getting pushed off the mat. You know, Jones has got to make an effort to circle in. He's got to make an effort to shoot. You can't just let your opponent drive you from the center of the mat all the way off. So Jones drops in on that single leg. Yes, cut the corner.
And there you go.
Oh, whoa.
Almost, is that a reversal? No, that wasn't. Now it is.
So now we've got Tilly with a takedown there. So Jones never establish control. So now it's 6-4 in favor of Ben Jones of Richmond.
35 seconds left in the second period.
He's got to work here to keep. He's got to be smart here. You can't expose those shoulders because then we could cough up this lead pretty quick.
Got to find a way to get out of that. Like that.
Tripod up. Trying to catch Tilly riding high. You hear his coaches yelling at him to shake. You just want to shake him. Excuse me, I'm sorry. This is Joseph Fettig. Vance Tilly was at 157. This is Fettig. Oh, right at the buzzer. No reversal.
Looks upset by that. He's got to be careful about that, though.
So Fettig will choose neutral to start the third. So 6-4. Jones tries to drop into a shot. Again, right at the boundary. Jones drops into that head inside single. Fettig doing a good job of fighting at the ankles, applying pressure.
Not letting him get a hold of that ankle.
And a takedown. So now it is a 7-6 lead for Joseph Fettig of Algonac.
Minute 10 left.
Minute 10. Jones up to a tripod. He's got to try to slide that leg out. Tripod up. Yes. Work that leg out. You really don't want to go out of bounds here because you're in somewhat of a decent position to try to reverse him. You got to get back to that tripod.
He lifts him all the way off the ground.
Got to get back to that tripod.
There.
Into it.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
Right into
a pin.
A headlock. So that'll be 2 for the reversal. Gives us 8-7.
The crowd just went nuts. That's what happens when the camera shakes like that.
Now
almost there.
We're out of position. We need to circle back behind. Referee's holding near fall. Holding the near fall. Once Jones gives up this hold, it'll be awarded as near fall. Well, it should be right there. So 4 for Ben Jones for near fall. Now you got to be smart. It's 12-7.
3 seconds left. 2, 1.
There's a nice win by a young wrestler.
And both wrestlers did an amazing job.
Mm-hmm. So that'll be a 12-7 decision for Ben Jones. Another 3 points for the Blue Devils. Gives them 15. As we head to the 190-pound weight class. So for Algonac, this is Connor Haddon. And for Richmond, Jackson Pierce. Jackson is a junior for the Blue Devils.
This is Blue Devils this year, relatively young team.
Yep, for the most part, pretty young team. Handful of seniors, but a lot of freshmen. Big freshman class. And you know, watching this team and seeing the results throughout the year, seen a lot of growth in a lot of those guys from the beginning of the year to the end, and that's what you look for with a young team. You're going to win some duels, you're going to lose some duels just based on inexperience, but you know, are you improving from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, and then are you capitalizing on that improvement in the subsequent years?
Well, I think that's one of the biggest the biggest thing about Richmond's program is how they build that up over years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's.
So when most of these guys are seniors, you're going to have a stacked senior team.
Yep, and that's what you hope. You hope to.
That's the ebb and flows of high school sports, too.
Correct. Yep. And every team goes through runs like that. Every good team goes through runs like that, where you know you've got a good class that comes through. And then some classes that maybe your numbers are a little thinner or a little less experienced. So you really try to lean on that athlete development. So Haddon with the snap down and go behind gives us our first points of this match at 190. 3-0 with about 40 seconds left in the first over Jackson Pierce of Richmond.
Not letting go of that arm.
Mm-mm. Really working that blanket ride. And it's a lot of pressure. Once you get that wrist, that's a lot of pressure you can apply, especially in these upper weights. Jackson Pierce got to be careful here. Get back to your knees. Keep Haddon from running that near side wing. Now you got to fight the half off on the other side.
Oh.
Good work.
Saved by the bell. Did I just date myself there?
You did.
I did.
That's even before my time. Haddon will choose bottom in the second. Up right away, but Jackson Pierce is able to lasso him back to the mat.
Not enough to get a takedown, though.
But he's back to his feet. Cuts through for the escape. 4-0 in favor of Connor Haddon.
Out of bounds. Go back.
Minute 30 remaining here. Let's see if Pierce saw something in those first couple flurries he's able to capitalize on. Really got to keep good head position and not allow that. So a snap down. I guess we'll call it a go behind for Haddon. Lets Pierce back to his feet. Another snap down. And another escape for Pierce. We're at 10-2.
How many points for a technical?
And we're out of bounds. So the difference will have to be 15.
Okay.
So we've got just under a minute left in the second period. Another snap down for Haddon. Shucks it to the side. 13-2, 13-3.
Algonac in complete control for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to grab that leg, it gets it out of the way.
Yeah. Pierce fighting it, but oh.
Just around and around and around and around.
Haddon behind that arms, awarded his takedown. 16-3, and we're out of bounds.
16.8 left to go in the second quarter, second period. I know the difference.
Deep tight waist for Haddon there.
Just pulled him right back down.
Cross to the wrist. Short time here. You don't want to give that half up. It's got to fight this.
Pin. The very last second of the second.
With 1 second left in the second, Connor Haddon earns the fall for Algonac. That'll bring their total to 42. And that will bring us to the 215 pounders. So for Algonac, this will be Reed Hiltunen. He will win by forfeit. Another 6 points for the Muskrats. Brings them up to 48. And we will head to heavyweight. So we'll cap it off with the big guys. For Richmond, this is Jack Akins. He's a senior.
285.
And his opponent will be Trevor Jarvie of Algonac.
That's supposed to be 205?
285.
Well, those kids are 285.
That's the limit on the weight class is 285.
Oh, okay.
And actually, in wrestling, you're allowed to bump up one weight class from where you weigh in as Akins gets that first takedown. So these guys could have weighed in at 215 and now are wrestling at heavyweight. They're allowed to go up one.
Okay. I'd always wondered how that worked.
Yep. It just gives it's a little bit of strategy, a little bit of flexibility the coaches can use in their lineup, whether it's to fill weight classes or to get certain matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Akins really needs to stretch here. You don't see heavyweights running legs like this very often.
Right? No.
But if they do, they can be extremely effective.
Well, yeah, because you've got all that weight on top of you, so you're already getting tired from trying to hold that and get it off you at the same time.
Yeah. So we'll see if that skill set comes into play for Akins here. We got just about halfway through the first period and a restart. Still 3-0 in favor of Jack Akins. digs that leg in again. Really got to try to get his opponent flat. You don't want him up on his knees. You want him flat here for that power half. And you also don't want to lose control of that wrist like that.
And that's...
And again here, gotta arch. Don't want to, yes, you don't want to get that head caught underneath because he can reach up, grab that head, and turn you to your back.
Very easily
This
throw
is
you into a
not
pin.
where you want to be.
Nope.
You got to get over.
Because even though he's on top like that, Algonac is
Still
in control.
could get the fall there, yeah. You got to get back on top. Stay strong with that head, break that grip. Whew. End of the first.
Richmond up 3 in this match to nothing. I have a feeling we're going to see those numbers change a little bit coming up here.
So Jarvie will choose bottom in the second. Akins will elect to let him up. Looking for another takedown.
Looks like he has the height advantage a little bit. Still trying to find his opportunity to... He's looking to shoot, right?
Yep. Ooh, Jarvie on the leg.
He's able to get that.
Not a takedown yet.
Nope,
there it is.
There's that takedown.
All right, so now we've got a 4-3 match in favor of Jarvie from Algonac. Akins trying to circle back into that tripod. Slips him, find that head. He can find that head and roll Jarvie to his back. There it is.
Almost down, almost there.
There it is. He's got his
He's
reversal. Little more on it. There it is.
Yep.
Jack Akins with a pin at the 58-second mark of the second period. That'll cap off our duel for today. Final score is Richmond 21, Algonac 48.
Thank you for joining us.
Enjoy your evening.